What are the coolest psychological techniques you've used or know about? You want someone you just met to like you? Ask them open-ended questions about themselves. Don't wait for your turn to speak. Listen, and then ask a follow-up question based on what they said. If you do that a couple of times, that person feels heard and appreciated by you. If they realize they're doing all the talking, they'll apologize and ask a question of you. If your answer is short and pivots back into something they said, you have now formed a connection in their mind as a good listener who is interested in what they have to say. People like that a lot. If you work with clients, prevent them from getting defensive and angry by not using the word you. It's not, you didn't send the attachment. It's, the attachment didn't send. Don't blame them. Blame the thing you're talking about. I take my time when I write emails to clients because I like to word things just right. One word can be the difference between a happy client and an unhappy one. The right words in the right order can influence people to make decisions you want them to make. Words are powerful. To get someone to like you more, ask them to do a favor for you, like let you borrow a pencil. Benjamin Franklin was a big proponent of this idea. Don't fall for it. He still hasn't returned my pencil. My favorite is silently maintaining eye contact when a person is attempted to bargain or convince you of something that you don't want to do or don't believe. They usually end up negotiating with themselves, which gives you a huge advantage because once that happens, it is pretty much game over. I use the gray rock method on my narcissist brother-in-law. Basically, I made myself so dull and boring and the opposite of drama that he learned to avoid me at all costs. It worked like a charm, and only took 4 to 5 encounters to take effect. Have a toddler that is in a bad mood? Sit down with them, look them straight in the eye, and say, "You're mad, so don't laugh." Just keep repeating it as seriously as you can. I've done it for 15 different cousins over a couple of decades, and by the 5th repetition of, "Don't laugh," they are busting a gut and rolling on the floor. Giving students in my elementary class the illusion of choice. If you ask, "Do you want to start your work?" or "Isn't it time we got something done?" I modify it to, "Would you like to do your assignment with a pencil or blue pen?" They are too consumed with this choice that they have forgotten that they didn't want to do it in the first place. Also, every recess. "Did you push Jimmy?" "No." "Okay, and 2 people saw you do it and reported it to me." "Are you sure you didn't?" "And sure." Then change it to, "Can you tell me why you pushed him?" "Well, it's because." Gets him every time. If someone is talking or preoccupied, you can hold out your hand, and they'll give you whatever they're holding. I did it to my sister with the car keys, and made her think she'd lost them somewhere at the store. I like to do the opposite. If I've been tasked with holding something I don't want to hold, I wait until someone is engaged in conversation, and just hand them the item without saying a word. They just take it like that. In an argument, speak softly. It forces active listening, which leads to active thinking. When they are listening and thinking, they are not yelling, arguing, or talking. The flinch. Whether you're negotiating a raise, the sale price of a car you want to buy, who does what chores around the house, always flinch visibly at the first, and sometimes second offers. The flinch can be as simple as a small wince, a sigh, or an eye roll. The flinch quite often causes people to lowball the initial offer. I learned this from my husband, and it freaking works. Got my current job at 10% over the max salary because I flinched. The concept of getting something for free completely derails a person's critical thinking skills. My dad was tool distributor and drove a truck to various repair shops selling tools to mechanics. He got an idea to start selling candy bars on his truck for $1. But you would get a free candy bar with every tool purchase. Almost everyone who asked how much the candy bar was didn't want to pay $1 for one, but they would buy a $100 socket set in order to get the candy bar for free. When playing rock, paper, scissors, stop right before and ask, "Without looking, can you tell me what color your shirt is?" And people seem to always pick scissors after. I've done it to maybe 20 people and got the same result every time. When you need someone to wait a moment as you hunt for something, or you're struggling, say, "Thank you for your patience," instead of, "Sorry for the wait." It subtly strokes their ego and makes them more likely to be kind and patient with you, because you've already asserted they're kind and patient people, and denying that would hurt their own self-image. Works with most people, but some are just raging assholes. Do that with everything. Stop apologizing unless you've actually hurt someone. Thank people for their time rather than apologize for wasting it. Say you appreciate them letting you vent rather than apologizing for making them listen to you. If you're apologizing all the time, they might start to think that they are indeed a victim of sorts that needs to be apologized to. Thanking them and letting them know they're appreciated has the opposite effect. I had a very strange encounter with a coworker once. We were on a break, had chatted a bit, the usual mundane, "Are you married, etc.? Do you have kids?" And when I said no, she waited, staring at me, for me to continue. Boy, did that ever work. The longer she stared, the more I babbled. I couldn't stop talking. I'd finish a sentence, she kept staring, and I'd start talking again, and not because she was politely listening. She was compelling me to talk. I have no idea why she did that, if it was just her way, or if she does that to learn things about people, but it was the creepiest conversation I have ever had. I'm older now, so that wouldn't work on me, but it sure was effective at the time. If I want my cat to jump up for cuddles, I first have to act totally disinterested, and like I don't care what he does. Works every time. If you want to calm someone down, sympathize with them whilst describing what's upsetting them in descending orders of magnitude. I understand why you're angry. You're right to be frustrated. This would annoy me too. As they accept the acknowledgments they should also accept the declining emphasis on emotion and become calmer. Does this count? They aren't cool, but pretty helpful. I sometimes have anxiety brain where I start to panic about the future, or the past, or whatever. I've learned to stop myself and tell myself, "Hey, wait, you need to finish your job. Your job is XXX. So, for instance, I'll be doing dishes, get lost in thought, and start to get upset and anxious. I'll then tell myself, "Hey, you have to finish doing the dishes. That's your job right now." And then I'll take a deep breath, or multiple deep breaths. It's just another way to center yourself and bring yourself back to the present, but it's helpful. Hard to do it at first, but I've gotten good at it. Also, sometimes anxiety brain can lead to some heavy, self-loathing, probably false thoughts. I've more recently taught myself that when that happens to stop, take a breath, and say one nice thing about myself. So when bad brain goes into, "What the fuck, Tammy Tangerine, you're the worst, I can't believe you fucked up that insignificant thing," I'll try and stop myself and say something like, "Fuck that, no, I am kind." That's a harder trick for sure, but I'm getting better at it. Edit, this blew up a bit, huh? I just spent the last hour on Reddit's mobile app trying to respond to a ton of the comments I've gotten. And welp, apparently none of my upvotes or comments registered since last night when I was on desktop. Great. Anyway, thanks for all the feedback and input. I'm glad this tip is helpful to so many people. You guys are great. Another similar one I've learned is called Name 5 Things. You just name 5 things you can see. Then name 5 things you can hear. Then name 5 things that you feel touching your body, purse strap, scratchy seat fabric, etc. But the end of it, but you have brought your mind out of that helpless spiral and back to reality. It has actually helped me avoid a panic attack before. Best one for kids, and this works wonders for behavioral problems. You never say, "Don't do X." I had a terror child in daycare, and people would yell at him for acting out. I would start each day by saying, "You're going to be a good boy today." And every time he acted out, I would say, "Wait, you're my good boy, right?" He would say yes and stop doing it. When his mom came to get him, I made a point of telling her how good he was. That child never acted out around me after a week. My people are very fertile, so I've looked after lots of cousins, siblings, etc. since I was 5. The one thing that kids want is control. What I mean is they're so helpless that they can't even turn in the light switches themselves, get a glass of water themselves, make their own meals. And they're very aware of this, and immensely frustrated. The best way to harness this is to treat them as people with agency. Make them help you cook. Get their help cleaning. Get them to look after younger relatives. It seriously has never failed me. Many people, I would say most, maybe almost all, are surprisingly susceptible to flattery and being told what they want to hear. People tend to shy away from this strategy, thinking it will be too obvious and clumsy, but just try it. It's as if being flattered or hearing people agree with you gives people a rush of pleasurable hormones to the brain. People become what you call them. You treat someone like a monster, they become a monster. To ensure that someone maintains a certain positive trait, compliment them for it beforehand. People are more likely to follow you if they have your approval, rather than trying to win it. You don't know far people will go when they already have something to lose, a good impression they have on you. If you want someone to work hard for you, tell them how you admire their work ethic, or how they seem like diligent employees based on their portfolio/resume/recommendations. If you want someone to be nice to your friends, tell them they have a kind face. Don't say this to a guy if you're a guy, or say that you heard a lot of good things about them. Words are immensely powerful. This is also why I never call someone any bad names, even if they deserve it. Thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, share the coolest psychological tricks you know. And don't forget to check out our other videos.